Good morning everyone. Today we will discuss the gene mutation. In the last class we had studied about chromosomal mutation and now we are going to discuss gene mutation. So if you remember, I had told you gene mutation is also known as point mutation, but generally there is misconception about gene and point. Gene mutation is when we see some changes in the gene structure, and it is of three different types. One is point mutation, the other is inversion, and the third one is frame shift. So point mutation is a type of gene mutation, but generally people call gene mutation as point mutation. We had also discussed this point mutation when we were seeing the sickle cell anemia. What happens in sickle cell anemia? At sixth position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and so on. At sixth position, we have glutamic acid. Code is GAG, and this GAG is mutated into GUG, and this codes for valine. So at sixth position, glutamic acid is converted into valine, and there is change mutation only in one base. A is converted into U. So this type of mutation where there is no change in the amino acids which is present before this or after this, there is no change in any amino acid, there is change only in one amino acid, that is at sixth position. And if this kind of change is there where only one base is changing, one amino acid is changing, we call it as point mutation. Let's see what happens in inversion. Let's take the same example, inversion. GAG, which codes for glutamic acid. In inversion, what happens? The position of two bases are interchanged. That is GAG, if we take mutation in this position, what will happen to this? It will become GGA. G and A has changed their positions. So this type of mutation is known as inversion. In this case also, all the amino acids which are present before glutamic acid or after glutamic acid will remain the same. Only one amino acid will change because of change in the position of two base pairs. So these are two different types of gene mutation. Let us see frame shift mutation. This is somewhat different from point and inversion. In frame shift mutation, either addition or deletion can take place. Ram has red cap. We are taking a sentence where every word has three alphabets. Why are we taking this kind of sentence? Because each amino acid has three bases and that codes for a single amino acid. So we are considering that this is code for one. So let us see what happens. If we add, I am taking an example of addition. If we add A over here, what will happen? Ram has AREDCAP, right? So what has happened? The one which was before the addition remains the same, but every amino acid after addition will change. So because there is complete shift in the amino acid sequences, we call it as frame shift mutation. Let us see what happens if something is deleted. Ram has red cap. Let us delete this H. So what will happen? Ram ASR EDC AP. So this is again, this has also changed completely. The one which remains before the deletion will remain the same. After deletion, entire amino acid base pair, sequence will be changed. The code for entire amino acid will change, and hence it is known as frame shift mutation. Let us see how can mutation be classified in other ways. There are other ways, three different other ways. One is on the basis of where this mutation is taking place. If it is taking place in somatic or vegetative cells, we call it as somatic mutation, and if it is taking place in during gamete formation in germinal cells, we call it as germinal mutation. So on the basis of where it is taking place, one is somatic, taking place in somatic or vegetative cells, somatic or vegetative cells, and next is germinal. Germinal is the germinal epithelium present in the gonads, so taking place in gametes. As this is taking place in gametes, germinal mutations can pass from one generation to the other. So this mutation is inherited from one generation to other. So this is another way of classifying mutation. Let us see other ways. There is same sense mutation, antisense mutation, and nonsense mutation. What does it mean? When mutation takes place, after mutation also it codes for the same amino acid, it is called same sense mutation. An example is, we will take glutamic acid in all of these examples. GAG, so that you understand better. GAG codes for glutamic acid. Now if this is mutated and it changes to GCG, this also codes for glutamic acid. Mutation has happened at this position, one of the base pair has changed, but both these codes for the glutamic acid only. This kind of mutation is known as same sense mutation. If we change this GAG to GUG, mutation has occurred at this position, but this glutamic acid is converted into valine. So we have, it is coding for some other amino acid, so we call it as antisense mutation. In case of nonsense mutation, if mutation takes place over here, it changes into UAG. This is coding for glutamic acid, but this is a nonsense codon, also known as stop codon, because it does not code for any amino acid, hence it stops the protein synthesis. So we have three different types of mutation based on all are examples of point mutation, where we will, after mutation also, that will code for the same amino acid. After mutation it can code for some other amino acid, or after mutation it does not code any amino acid, and that is known as nonsense mutation. Another classification is whether the mutation is spontaneous. Spontaneous mutation means it is occurring in nature on its own. So spontaneous mutation is something on its own. And another is induced mutation, which is induced by the intervention of human beings. Human beings are involved here. Generally, this takes place in plants. How do they induce it? By the help of mutagens. And it takes place generally. This mutation is spontaneous mutation is something which is occurring in nature on its own. There also we use the mutagen is involved, but there is no intervention of human beings. In case of induced mutation, there is intervention of human beings. Human beings are inducing that mutation by using mutagens, and this generally takes place in plants. So this is all about mutation. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe if you like the video and click on the bell icon to get the notification whenever a new video is released. Thank you.